Hello everyone, this is Visual Novel Gamer here, and I am back with Katawa Shoujo. Last time, Emmy basically ran in the rain and got sick, and now we're visiting her. We also tried to have a picnic, didn't work, and then we went to this tea house called Shinhai. Shinhai, I think it's called. I always struggle with those names, but let's continue. It doesn't take long to get to the girls' dormitory and make my way to Emmy's room. Standing outside her door, I suddenly pause. What if she's resting? I'll hate to wake her up, especially if she's feeling ill. Then again, if she sleeps all day, then it could throw off her sleeping schedule. But rest is important if you're ill, isn't it? I can't decide what to do, so I settle for standing outside the door looking like an idiot. Then I hear Emmy's voice from behind the door. Thank you for your concern, but I'm really okay. Is she talking to me? I'll see you at practice tomorrow. Guess not. Still, clearly she's not asleep, so I knock without worry. So, why this clenched feeling in my gut? I wasn't nervous about dropping by the other day, so why today? Granted, I still haven't really had time to figure out this newfound interest in Emmy's well-being. I don't have a lot of expertise in the matter, of course, but certainly this seems to go beyond feelings of a mere friendship. But could I take that step? Could I even bring myself to risk what I have right now? I mean, it's enough to be friends with her, isn't it? Either way, shouldn't I just open the door and see how she's doing? That's why I came here, right? What if she's not dressed yet? The image that flashes through my mind causes my heart to skip a beat, literally. I should probably not ever think those thoughts again. Not if I want to avoid another heart attack. I suddenly realize I'm still standing in the hallway looking like an idiot. Emmy seems to be in the middle of the conversation, but I knock away. Knock anyway. Hopefully she won't mind the interruption. You worry too much. Come in, the door's unlocked. So it is. Sorry about that. So it is. I open the door and step in, which is about where my thoughts process comes to a grinding halt. Sleepy Emmy face. Emmy is sitting up in her bed, towels from a days spent asleep. I think this is the first time I've seen her without those familiar braids in her hair. Her gym shirt and bloomers, obviously hastily put on before I came in, are creased and folded from less than proper storage. Oh, they actually show her legs. That's surprising. Her legs lay bare on the sheets. What the heck is this animal? Is that supposed to be a duck or something? I don't know. I've never seen Emmy without prosthetics before, yet here she is, slender legs terminating in stumps just below her knees. But as odd as the sight is, I find myself more captivated by everything north of the waist. This is an adorable scene. That bed's freaking tiny, though. Mini TV, I like that. It seems that Emmy had finished her conversation with whoever was on the phone with her, and is now watching my reaction closely, out of her one open eye as she wipes sleep from the other. Her expression's far from being embarrassed, is rather one of surprisingly wide yawn, one perhaps appropriate from such a small mouth. A grin that, for a brief moment, seems almost flirtatiously tugs at the corner of her mouth as she takes the sight of me in. I could do nothing but remain in a state fluctuating between fear, confusion, and not a little bit of lust. Emmy hastily sweeps her hair out of her eyes, fixing it back in place before addressing me. You seem a bit caught off guard, Estelle. A wave of laughter erupts from her, and I find myself grinning and rubbing the back of my head ruefully. Sorry, I just never seen someone so devious. This hardly looks so attractive. Never seen you without your legs on. Never seen you look so. Sorry. Emmy giggles again and moves to sit up a little straighter. I'm caught up in the movements of her shirt, very nearly losing myself. I was wondering what your reaction would be. The nurse called and told me you were going to drop by, you see. And I know you haven't seen me, well, you know, without legs. I respond in the tone of casual surprise. Oh, you don't have them on? I didn't notice. This is almost the truth. I very nearly didn't. I'm not trying to be sway or anything, mind you. Somehow I think Emmy would get offended by that. Instead, she sticks out her tongue and chucks a pillow at my head. As I definitely catch the pillow and take careful aim before throw. Emmy laughs and rolls to one side, dodging my shot. The shifting of her shirt distracts me enough so that the next throw pillow hits me right between the eyes. Oof. I retaliated, of course. And once I retaliated twice, well, a war was bound to break out sooner or later. And really, when Emmy appears to have far better aim than me, well, it was just a matter of time before I had to resort to a suicidal charge. Gotcha. Eek. Bam, smack, pwah. And once the charge was accomplished, well, of course, I had to wrestle the pillows away from her. And with that kind of struggle, of course, we wind up in this sort of position. And so I find myself staring down at her from a position atop her. Adorable! She's grinning, eyes sparkling with amusement, maybe a little sweaty now from our tussle. Her chest is heaving up and down, sucking in air. The small bit of my brain that's not currently enraptured by the sight and the smell of her observations that she must still be ill because her stamina is not what it should be. We stay that way for a while. I'm not sure how long, because everything seems to go fuzzy, everything that isn't her anyway. Her eyes meet mine, and deep inside them, I almost catch a glimpse of what? Fear? Longing? Hope? Emmy? A cough suddenly convulses her, and I'm almost stumbling in my haste to get off to apologize for everything. Sorry, I shouldn't have. It's fine. Smile. A blushing cheeks. She gives me a reassuring pat on the shoulder. So, what brings you here? She's still breathing heavy, and that causes her voice to shake slightly. Well, before I was so rudely assaulted by pillows, I came to see how you were doing. Wait. This earns me another shove, and I very nearly fell off her bed. Emmy's eyes sparkle again, and I wonder how I never noticed how attractive they are before. Consumed with worry, were you? Her tone is mocking. Heiji? Teasing. My guy's completely falling. He's gone. He's off the deep end. She throws her arms across her forearm, dramatically grin still apparent from underneath. Couldn't bear the thought of me lying deathly ill? Why does that look like a tear? As we both recover from a brief wrestling match, Emmy appears to fall back on teasing me. Well, I want to say consume with fear, but after he did show up this morning like a total wuss. Emmy pouts, crossing her arm plainly and sticking her lower lip out. It's not my fault. Nurse wouldn't allow it. Sure he wouldn't, and I completely believe you. Emmy sticks her tongue out again. You're such a jerk, Hisao. So how was your day then, eh? Did you enjoy slacking off? Not really. The phone woke me up pretty early on. The phone? Yeah, the captain of the team called to make sure I was doing okay. Also to let me know it was okay to skip practice. Good, at least she wasn't alone all day. Someone checked up on her. Although I can't help but think that it should have been me. Should have been me! Oh, that's good. He really keeps an eye on you, huh? Emmy shrugs. It's his job. Part of being the captain means you know where your team members are and what they're not in school. Still, I guess it was nice of him to call, huh? Yep, it sure was. Emmy yawns and shamelessly down into a more shimmies down into a more comfortable position. So, how was your day? Kind of uneventful, you know. I went ahead and ran by myself and talked to this nurse about how you were doing. It's already dark out. In middle, I meander through the day's events, none of which are particularly engrossing. That's when I That's when I'm distracted by an arm finding its way across my waist. It seems that Emmy fell asleep while I was talking, so I drew her blanket to cover us. Adorable! She rolled on her side, and now one leg is thrown over my legs, effectively trapping me. Hey, it seems a shame to wake her up, but I have things to do. I gently shake her, but in response she only tightens her arm's grip on me and sighs a little. My resistance to this position crumbles rather quickly. The feeling of her body breathing steadily is both calming and incredible stimulating at the same time. My breathing cannot decide if it wants to relax or speed up. Relaxation wins, and I find myself putting an arm around Emmy. I think I'm in love. Now you finally say it. I like how my character has to smile too now. Hope she heard it. The words slipped out and hang in the air unnoticed. At least I hope they gone unnoticed. I hope she heard it, to be honest. I really hope. Emmy whimpers weakly through her dreams, and her grip suddenly tightens again. For the first time since I know her, I see tears running down Emmy's face. It feels like my heart is about to break. I instinctively tighten my own grip and stroke her hair in what I hope is a smoothing manner. Words of comfort, meaningless in this situation, spring to mind. Maybe I should wake her. Are you supposed to wake up people having nightmares? I have no idea about that, to be honest. I never heard if you should or not. I can't for the life of me remember. The decision is taken from me as Emmy suddenly jerks awake with a cry. Dad! Holy, she's bawling her eyes out. This is more than I think I want to hear, without her knowing. I quickly sit up upright and gently shake her shoulder to stir her. Hey, you okay? What a silly question. Huh? What? So? She shakes her head as if to clear it and quickly wipes her eyes. You had a nightmare, I think. Emmy shrugs again and glances up at me, a little cautiously, as if unsure whether or not she's actually up. Yeah, I guess so. You want to talk about it? A speedy internal debate seems to be going on in her head, which resolves itself with a shrug. Nah, I don't really remember much of it. I'm pretty sure she's lying to me, but somehow I don't think I should press the issue. Emmy shudders again and turns towards me, looking a little sheepish. Sorry for falling asleep on you like that. Lush! I keep my voice as soothing as I can. Hey, don't worry about it. You've been ill. Yeah, I guess the cold medicine just made me a little drowsy. I guess so. Emmy does not strike me as the sort of person who falls asleep on the drop of a hat. Rand maybe, but Emmy's far too energetic. Emmy gives a half smile at my response, and then just like that, she's back to her old self. Well, prepare yourself for tomorrow morning, Isao. We have to go twice as hard to make up for today. But I went running this morning. No excuse. Oh, fine. I'll be ready for you. Emmy nods, satisfied. Good. I take this as my cue to exit. Well, I better get going, especially if I want to get enough sleep for tomorrow. I hopped off the bed and head for the door. Hey, Sal? I pivot nearly on my heel and face Emmy. She opens her mouth to say something, and then in another first, I see her falter slightly. She closes her mouth and opens it again. Thanks. For dropping by, I mean. You're kind of the first visitor I ever had who wasn't in. Now that's surprising. I would figure that Emmy have people dropping by all the time. She's clearly popular enough, or so I thought. Always talking to people in the hallways. Emmy hesitates again. And thanks for staying around after well, a look of pain flutters across her face. You know, it helped. She brightens back up and waves cheerfully at me. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you later. I was just about to exit the door when something makes me turn around again. Hey, Emmy? Anytime you need to talk, let me know, okay? Emmy seems taken aback by this offer. Her grin gets even wider. Sure thing, Sal. See you in the morning. I feel like Emmy's the type of girl that won't talk about her feelings properly like that. I told you, my two theories about her dad is either they left in a bad divorce, or he died in a car accident. I feel like he died in the car accident more than a bad divorce, because I don't think she would be crying like that about him if he didn't die. But yeah, that's just my thing. I feel like she won't talk about it even if she wants to. That's what I think. I exit Emmy's room with my head in a whirl. Should I have even left? Was she really okay? I wanted to turn around and march back down the hall, open the door, and tell her I love her. Tell her I think she's beautiful. Tell her that I'd be there when she needs me. I want to stay with her, to hold her close as she falls back to sleep. How many nights have she woken up like that? Only to find that nobody's there. I want to be the person she can be with when that happens. It's a silly thought, I know. We don't know each other that well, do we? The whole idea, while exhilarating, also makes me feel worried. Worry perhaps that I'll overstep my bounds. And now to add to my troubles, it seems as if Emmy herself already has an interest in someone else. The track captain of hers, who seems so interested in her well-being. True, I've only seen the two of them together a few times, but that doesn't change the fact that they seem better suited to one another. There's really nothing to be done about that. I need to take my mind off this whole situation. I got homework to do. Maybe that will distract me. Trust me, buddy, it doesn't work. It makes it worse. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. A night of restlessness has left me feeling fairly groggy this morning. The events of the previous day kept intruding upon my mind. The memory of how Emmy felt against me. The memory of our wrestling match. And most bothersome, the memory of her nightmare. She was in so much pain. I can't stop wondering what it must be like for her to wake up with nobody there. The shower shocks me awake with hot water. Awake, but still worried. What will happen today? Will things just go back to normal? End of the episode, back to the status quo. There was a connection yesterday. Something that nearly pushed us past the bounds of normal friendship. Would that have been so bad? My mind goes back to the look in Emmy's eyes after our pillow fight. It almost seems like she was daring me to go on. Almost. But I can't know for sure. Anyway, the track captain's probably her first in her affection. 100% doubt that, but okay. But even as I say that, my mind is already sorting decisively. I'm just looking for an excuse. A reason for everything to go wrong. A reason to not try. It's not as if I ever seen the two of them together outside of track practice. And clearly he's never visit. Emmy says as much herself. If they were close, surely he'll visit. I'm such a wuss. I ought to just go for it anyway. damn the consequences. That's what Emmy would do, I think. Hell, I know that's what she'll do. Which is particularly why I'm convinced there's no interest on her end. She hasn't acted either. Maybe because of this track captain. It's possible she got a bit of an unrequired crush thing going on. But who would be able to clarify their relationship? It sure as hell can't be Emmy. She'll probably just laugh and ask why I wanted to know. And I'm not ready to answer that yet. Rin will probably just give me some cryptic answer or something. And then with my luck, she'll just ask Emmy, who would ask me why I wanted to know. And I'm already covered that problem. I wonder. Could I get away with asking the nurse? He seems pretty protective of Emmy. I'm sure he'll know if something was up. And he owes me for not letting Emmy know he forgot to tell me about her being ill. So he'll keep quiet. What if he asks me why I want to know, though? I can't shake him off. Just say I'm curious as a friend. We'll buy that, won't he? Of course. That's settled then. After the run, I'll talk with Emmy, waiting outside the office. There's no sign of Emmy when I arrive at the track. Is she still too ill? I decided to give her 10 minutes. I'm a little early and she was ill yesterday, so if she takes a while to show up, it shouldn't be surprising. Still, I hate to just waste my time, so I occupy myself by stretching and pacing back and forth anxiously. What if I went too far yesterday? What if she doesn't come because she's embarrassed? What if... You're early again, Hazel. I'm impressed. Just like that, I feel some of the tension leaving my body. Emmy seems to be bright and cheerful as usual, with no sign that she was ill the other day, much less had a less than restful sleep. Still, I have to ask, sleep well last night? It's just a throwaway question, small talk, the sort of thing people ask someone they bump into in the cafe while getting their morning coffee. Not for us, at least not for me. I don't know if Emmy realized that I'm actually concerned about her, how well she slept last night, but the question does give her pause. After a short moment of what seems like her genuinely pondering this, she nods. Yep, sure did. Was it because of me? Did I actually help? Or are you just saying that to get me to stop asking questions? Good to hear. Emmy grins and begins warming up. So, ready to begin? Am I ready? Of course I'm ready. I was born ready. Emmy laughs at my bravo and take off running. I keep a steady pace the whole time, breathing steadily. I still feel dead at the end, but at least I don't gasp like a fish out of water now. Emmy is positively beaming after the run today. Nice job, Hazel. You're improving. You'll be half as fast as me in no time. This last line is delivered with a teasing grin that I grew all too used to. Oh, how exciting. Emmy begins to run her sprints while I take a cool down lap. She's really pushing herself today. By the time I'm done with my lap, she's laying across one of the bleachers, looking exhausted. Goodness, not pushing it a little too much today, are you? You did just have a cold, you recall. Emmy gives an annoyed snort and sits up. Bah, I'm just trying to make up for lost time, that's all. I went twice as hard today, you know. A good run always gets the kinks out, you know. Clears the mind, too. Oh? Emmy nods vigorously. Yep, it's a great outlet for that sort of thing. She does not explain further, and I don't ask. I suspect I know the real reason why she went so hard today. Being sick had nothing to do with it. Something's bothering her. Maybe the nightmare. Maybe something else. But it's not my place to pry. She'll tell me if she wanted me to know. I'm sure that comes in handy. You have no idea. The sincerity in her voice confirms my suspicions. The only problem is, even though I know she would tell me if she wanted me to know, I still want to know. Something on your mind, then? Emmy doesn't seem surprised by my question. Instead, she shrugs. Nah, it's nothing worth getting worried about. She seems as if she's trying to convince herself, as much as she's convincing me. I opened my mouth to ask if yesterday is responsible for her current state of mind, but think better of it. Too much of a risk taking the question the wrong way. Besides, I'm not even sure myself what to think about yesterday. Really, I only get about as far as it felt to have Emmy sleeping next to me before my brain shuts down. Having her before me now, covered in sweat, looking wearily at me, she's making it difficult to think. Yeah, I hear you. We better hurry to see the nurse. We're running short on time. Aren't we always? Emmy laughs at this. A dry chuckle that seems most un-Emmy-like. Too true. For a brief moment, she looks old, worn down by some old hurt. But just like yesterday, I can almost see her shouldering the burden and straining up slightly. And then she's back to being Emmy again. Come on then, Hisao. Race ya. With a sudden smile, she darts off. Hey, no fair. I take off after her, knowing I won't catch her, but not caring. Even if there's no chance of catching her, I'll still run after her. She's waiting for me at the door as I arrive. Well, well, look who finally showed up. Yeah. Enjoy your victory while you can. Emmy grins and pokes his head out of the door. Well, there you are. Come on in, Hisao. In what has become a familiar routine by now, he checks my blood pressure and my heart rate. A bit fast today, isn't it? Yeah, I kind of race Emmy here. The nurse laughs. That's never a good idea. He leans in to whisper to me in a conspiracy manner. I don't know if you heard, but Emmy's a bit of a track star. I reel back in mock surprise. Really, she never mentioned it before. The two of us shared a laugh. Did she do okay today? Cold seemed to bother her? Why don't you ask her? He rolls his eyes in exasperation. Of course I'm going to ask her too, but she'll tell me that she didn't have any problems, regardless of whether or not she did. So I'm asking you because you're her friend, and would probably tell me if she had trouble today. When he puts it that way, it makes a lot more sense. She seemed pretty good today, with a little more tired than usual. She was already feeling better when I dropped by yesterday, so I'm not that surprised. Nurse nods, though I noticed he easily seemed intensely slightly when I mentioned yesterday's visit. Well, that's good to hear. I figured it was just a 24-hour thing. Emmy tends to recover quickly from colds and the like. Hey, speaking of Emmy, are she and the track captain, well, you know. A look of suspicion crosses his face. Why do you ask? Well, it's just they seem kind of close, and I'm just curious, you know. And I'll never ask her, because that would be kind of embarrassing. So far, so good. Now I have to really sell it. Besides, I think they'll make a cute couple. The nurse laughs. Well, I don't suppose you're the first to think that. But I think I can say with some certainty that the two of them will never do anything like that. Certainty? Yep. Not that I can tell you, of course. Confidentiality and all that. Yeah, right. You just like holding a secret over my head. That too. Right, get out of here. I'm a busy man, you know. I roll my eyes at his last statement and head out the door, motioning to Emmy to go in. The whole time, I'm trying to keep from doing a celebratory dance. The two of them will never do anything like that. That's precisely the sort of thing I wanted to hear. I'm half tempted to make some sort of move on Emmy right now, but I think the nurse would probably disapprove. Besides, I still don't know exactly how Emmy feels about me. I mean, it's obvious that she cares about me as a friend, but something more than that, I can't be certain. Even so, I can't help but feel hopeful. I just need to figure out a good time to tell Emmy exactly how I feel. That puzzle should keep me occupied for the rest of the day, at least. The rooftop is completely deserted. Normally I could count on Ren to be up here before me, but she strangely but she's strangely absent. I wonder if she decided to accompany Emmy to the cafeteria for once. That seems pretty unlikely, but it's all I can think of right now. Part of me wants to go look for Ren, but a far larger part of me is too pleased with the way the sun feels on my skin to care. I pick idly at my lunch while I wait for Emmy and Ren to show up. It does not take long for me to hear the sounds of someone coming up the stairs. I wait until the door begins to open before talking. Took you long enough. Keeping me waiting for you, honestly. The two of you are... Huh? Well, that's odd. The only person standing in the doorway is Emmy, who looks mildly confused. What do you mean, huh? It's me, Emmy. We run in the mornings? She grins. I feel my heart jump slightly in my chest and sight. Yes, I know. I know that. I'm just confused. Where's Ren? Emmy's grin is replaced by a rather guilty-looking expression. Did she give her a cold? Yeah, about that. I kinda, sort of, gave her my cold. Oh dear. Am I at risk too? It would make sense, after all. Emmy and I were in close contact the other day. So what did she and Ren do that got her ill? ... Steady on. Old lad, don't go down that road. Ren just probably got a worse immune system than me. Emmy seems shocked by my comment, like she hasn't considered that before. I hope not. I feel terrible if you get ill because of me, Hisao. Oh man, I think I feel fever coming on. Emmy looks horrified and then quickly shifts into a more angry expression. Hisao, you stop getting sick this instant. I won't have it. Impulsively, she seizes me by the collar. Are you listening to me, Hisao's immune system? Get your ass in gear. I give a smart salute. Duly noted, ma'am. Emmy steps back and nods satisfied. Good. You are not allowed to miss any of our morning runs after all, but you miss our morning run. Emmy crosses her arms and looks at me naughtily. Yes, but that's a special case. It was me, and not you. That's not an explanation at all. Emmy looks flabbergasted. You're kidding, right? That explanation makes perfect sense. No, it doesn't. It's a blatant double standard. I don't see what that has to do with anything. Oh, fine. Emmy seems pleased by her victory. Anyway, is Ren gonna be okay? She's not totally ill, right? Emmy shakes her head. Nope, she'll be fine. I got her some cold medicine that should help her. Although, I should probably have made sure she didn't try to take them all at once. She's done it before, Somehow, I don't find this all that surprising. I doubt Ren is one to pay attention to maximum dosage and such. You should probably check in on her later, though, just to make sure. Emmy shrugs. I'll stop by after practice. She'll be fine until then. I nod, figuring that line of questions is over. The only problem is, I don't know what else to talk about. So, got any more track meets coming up? This is a terrible roundabout way of trying to see if she's free on the weekend. If she's free, then maybe I could ask her on a date or something. Well, assuming I can get myself to actually form the words. Emmy shakes her head. Nah, not for another couple weeks, I think. The season's winding down. Oh yeah, I came right in the middle of things, didn't I? Does that mean the exams are coming up soon? I should probably look into that. What do you do on the weekends if there's not a meet? An eyebrow goes up, and Emmy gets a teasing look on her face. You're awfully inquisitive today, aren't you? I shrug and hope it looks casual. Just making conversation. I don't know what it's like to be a track star after all. Flattery. She waves a hand idle. I'm not actually that good, You just so happen to see me on a good day is all. You lie. Heh, yeah. But humility is a sign of a good athlete. At least that's what my dad used to say. Use. The D. I don't know. It's so close. I think he died, but I'm not sure. She shrugs and tries unsuccessfully to hide the rather troubled expression on her face. Hey, what's up? You seem bothered by something. Emmy starts to deny it, then sighs in defeat. I wonder if she's too tired from being sick to get herself to deny it like usual. Or if she's actually just trusts me enough at this point to open up. Well, you remember last night? Do I ever? I settle for nodding, however. That's not the first time that's happened to me. Actually, I get them kind of... She pauses, as if it suddenly occurred to her what she's doing. It's almost like breaking some sort of personal rule here. But she starts up again, carefully choosing her words carefully. Well, not often, but on occasion. It's just been one of those weeks where that's what happens. A sigh escapes her, and she looks terribly flustered. I reach over to give her a hug, which, unlike last time, doesn't seem to shock her. Instead, she seems to relax as my arms wrap around her. We stay that way for a while. Hey, I was serious last night. You really can't talk to me if stuff like this is bothering you. It's always difficult to do this sort of thing solo, Emmy smiles and breaks the embrace, but stays leaning on my shoulder. Thanks, Sal. I'll be fine, I think. I can already see her reassembling herself, getting ready to bottle it all up again. Guess that's topics closed now. So hey, give any more thought to the career survey? Can't say I have. I don't tend to plan very far, far ahead. Although, I suppose I could at least start looking into college, right? I shrug. I suppose. Unless if you were serious about the pirate thing. As I checked, pirates didn't have much need for universities. Unless there's like a pirate university out there. Emmy giggles and starts to look a little like her old self. But there's a new element to her expression. Impish. That's how I describe it. Emmy looks impish, looking up at me with her head nestled into my shoulder. Would you come with me if I ran off to be a pirate? Of course I would. But when the right mind would pass up the opportunity to be pirates with you? Oops, sorry. Well, when you put it that way, I'm not sure. She giggles again. I notice that my heart seems to have sped up. It's probably due to Emmy's proximity to me. A hint of strawberries again. I can't help but grin as I gaze down at her. She's happy again. Hey, Sal? If you're going to kiss me, you should probably do it soon. I think the lunch bell's about to ring. Well, if you're just gonna say that, well... My thoughts grind to a sudden halt. I'm pretty sure my mouth is hanging open in shock. All I can manage is a strangled, huh? This amused Emmy even more. You were thinking about it, weren't you? She sits up, bringing her face level with mine. I'll probably enjoy it, You're really... well... She briefly composes herself, looking like she's about to say something important. If you haven't figured it out by now, I think I've developed a bit of a crush on you. You're going to have to do something about that. This time her grin short-circuits several important thought processes. At some point, I turned towards her, and at another point, her arms moved to around my neck. And yet another, my arms wrap around her waist. I'll be damned if I could tell precisely when that happened. Because at that moment, there's only a voice in the back of my head yelling at me to kiss her. I look into Emmy's eyes. There it is. The thing I saw yesterday on the bed. It's there again. It suddenly strikes me that she's worried that I'll reject her. What a silly worry for her to have. Ah, the kiss! The kiss! Adorable. Her lips taste faintly of strawberries. She leans into the kiss and her arms tighten around the back of my head, making sure that I don't pull away. Not that there was any danger of that. There's a churning feeling in my gut. The world falls away. There's just me, her, and her endless bench. My arms tighten, dragging her waist closer, embraced by the feel of her. Entraced by the feel of her. I inhale her scent, my mind trying desperately to memorize everything about how she tastes, how she smells, how she feels. That the blush is brighter now. The ringing of the bell snaps us both back to reality and we break the kiss. Emmy's cheeks are slightly flustered and she seems to be catching her breath. In her defense, so am I. We stand there for a few minutes, trying to wrap our heads around what we've just done. Emmy is for the first to break the silence. So, wanna grab dinner after I'm done with practice? What a coincidence. I was about to ask you the same thing. Well, actually, I suppose it was going to be some kind of proper date on the weekend or something, but the thoughts were there, I think. Emmy gives me a playful shove. Yeah, right. You were still in shock after how incredible awesome I am at kissing. We begin to head down the stairs back to our respected classrooms. Hey, I didn't see you talking immediately afterwards either. That I didn't. See you after practice, Sal. She leans in and gives me a quick kiss in the middle of the hallway, sending me into another brief state of mental freefall. As I head into my class, a giggling Misha greets me. Why, Heat-chan, you romantic you. Did you confess on the rooftop? Did you? Actually, I think it was the other way around. This sends Misha into a fresh fit of laughter. Young love is so unpredictable, isn't it? This being Misha, I suppose I should have expected her to tease me over this. I guess. Before I could respond, Muto's entry to the room, and Misha skips off to her seat, giggling all the while. I suspect that I'll get a lot of that sort of conversations now, especially seeing how Emmy kissed me right in the middle of the hall. But somehow, I don't care about that. For the first time since arriving here, my heart feels light. Ooh. Oh, they don't do another video. Act 3. Perspective. Oh, I thought they were gonna do a video for each of the acts. My problem. That sucks. My head's in a spin all through Muto's class. I'm going to have dinner with Emmy, who wants to be my girlfriend no less. A date. And then she kissed me. The kiss. That kiss. I keep going back to it, playing it in my mind again and again. Everything about that moment felt so right. My mind drifts off, lost in thoughts of Emmy. Nikai? Hello? It seems like I drifted a bit too far. Huh? What? Ingad? Ingad, you contracted some kind of amnesia. Someone, get the nurse. The class chuckles at Muto's antics. Sorry, sir. Won't happen again and all that, right? Exactly. Muto brightens considerably. Well, lovely to hear. I'll hate to have my star pupil slacking off after all. I've been doing well, but I hardly qualified as a star pupil, I think. I'm fairly certain that this class is the sort that everyone does well in. It's just memorizing formulas. True to my word, I managed to pay attention for the rest of the class. Nikai, may I have a word with you? I wonder if I'm in trouble for earlier. Sure. Am I in trouble? Muto looks generally confused for a moment. Beg your pardon? He tilts his head to one side and thinks for a moment. Oh, that. No, you're not in any sort of trouble. There's just a question I want to ask you. What's that? Nothing terrible. I was just wondering what your plans for after graduation are. Are you going to university? Yeah, I guess. I can't really see a reason not to go. Given any thought to what you'll study? Not really, no. I'll figure I'll come up with something when I get there. Oops. Muto laughs. Taking things as they come, eh? I argue against it, but that's how I did things when I went to university. Well, not really. I knew I'd go into science, I just wasn't sure which one. I ended up with physics, but could just as well have gone for aerospace, aeronautics, or what have you. Actually, I did go for chemistry first, but there were all sorts of things. Muto trails off and frowns slightly. It takes a minute for him to recover his train of thought, and I wait patiently for him to continue. So anyway, I did a lot of physics as well, because I had an interest in that, but I wasn't sure if it was for me. So I went back to chemistry, and here we are, yes. He smiles at me, and is enthusiastically, as if waiting me to confirm that yes, here is where we are. Somehow I get the feeling that Muto had a plan for this conversation, but I'll be damned if I could figure it out. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. He frowns and rubs his chin a bit, looking perplexed. He then snaps his fingers, as if he's remembered what the point of all this was. Right, yes, you. Me. Yes, you should look into studying one of the sciences. You're fantastic at it. Unless you're rather just going to math. Muto makes a sour face. Not a big fan of straight math. I always like the experiments more than the proofs. You're saying I should study science at university? Muto seems thrown off balance by my question. Well, sort of. You could also join the science club. Trouble is, there's not actually a science club. But there could be one. You could be a charter member. A founding father. Of course you need to find other members. Well, only if you wanted to. We could just start it up with the two of us, and I could give you things to read and we could talk about them. And I could help you get ready for university and such as well. Wait. Muto rummages around in his briefcase and tosses me a book. Read that. If it's interesting, then we can talk about it. A Brief History of Time. I don't know if I actually want to read this, but Muto seems pretty excited about it. What's it about? Time, space, space-time, black holes, and such. And it's not that dense, just to see if the sort of thing's interesting for you. You understand? Hang around after class and we get to either discuss it or I can show you how to make explosions in the lab. He waves a hand at my quizzical expression. Joking, sorry. Still, I kept you here long enough. Think about science as a career path, Nikai. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, I will. Thank you for the book. I leave the classroom and look up at the clock. Quite a chunk of time to kill until Emmy's out of practice. Guess I'll give this book a look. I should probably shower as well. Showering before a date's only proper, right? I head back to the dorms. I wonder where I'm supposed to meet Emmy anyway. She said after practice, but she didn't say where I should find her. I guess I could swing by the track. That's probably the best anyway. If she needs a shower, I could just wait for her in her room or something. Or in the hallway, I guess. That would be better as well. I take a quick shower, remembering to take my medicine once I hop out. Now, for a look at this book. I'm gonna end things here. And then on the next part, we can see how the date goes and them probably getting closer and closer together. So, yeah. This has been Visual Novel Gamer. I hope you like, comment, subscribe, tell me how your day is going, and see you all next time. Peace.